darlings, welcome back to PinkOddBird. Okay, well, it looks like I'm going to be setting up a new crafting space. So I thought that I would do a little bit of filming to see how we can get this all set up. It's going to be interesting and different. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing I think I want to do is get my actual station set up. And I think in front of this window is where I'm going to sit my table. This is my brother's inversion thing, but we're going to have to find a different spot for that to go. For now, though, I think that this window is going to be where I'm going to set my table up. So I'm going to go ahead and try and do that. I have to wade myself through boxes of things, and this is not even all my crafting stuff. There's more. There's more. Of course there's more. So this is the table that I use. This is just like one of those plastic pop-up tables, but I've been using this for a long time. So I feel like at this point it's superstition, and I couldn't imagine crafting with any other table. And then I also set up the little printer stand. So let's see if I can get my printer set up here where it goes. Okay, next, I think this beautiful craft caddy that was gifted to me by my very, very best friend, who's really more like a sister in the whole wide world, is gonna go here, I think. I'd like to see if it can fit right here in this little spot. I also want to get an extension cord in here, just in case I need one. Because once I fill this thing back up with all the stuff that's in it, it's going to get heavy. Alright, so I got my extension cord. I just want to make sure it's here just to be sure, because I'm going to have a few things that I know that I'll need to plug in as time goes on. So now it's there. Okay, now let's see if I can put this contraption here. Oh, I think it's a perfect fit. I think it's a perfect fit. Although it is now taking up space that I wanted to use for this wall. So, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Hold on, let me think. Okay, new plan. I think I'm gonna move these boxes here. And make way on this wall for one of my bookcases. And then I'm going to move my little craft drawer to that location instead. So let's give it a go. Okay, for now, I put one of my bookcases over here. For now. I'm going to see how it looks if I put this here. The reason is I'm thinking I might want to put a secondary smaller desk in this where this window is here. So yeah, let's try. Okay, I think for now I'm gonna have to let go of my dream of putting a second desk here. So I think what I might do is, I do have enough space on either one of these walls to add both of my bookcases, but I think I might put one of them here in this space, and then try putting my mesh totes here in this little corner, and then I might move this further back, which is still going to leave a nice space here for something. I'm just not sure what. Okay, so we've got printer, desk, some paper, and now my bookcase. Great. So now, oh my gosh. Hold on, I need a break. I'm sensing big trouble. I'm sensing big trouble because I know that I need all my bookcases for my books, for sure. But that also means I'm not going to have enough shelf space for crafting stuff. I feel like I'm going to have to end up getting another shelf that's going to go on this wall. But for now, I think what I'm going to do is get these boxes out of that corner, move this caddy to the far corner, because I think that's where I want that. That's going to leave a whole bunch of open space right here, and start filling my drawers back up, and then I might try and start getting my books loaded in. I will be able to use the tops of the bookshelves. And I've got some small tables, but they're definitely not, they're not going to be adequate. So let's see. Also, I think this means I'm going to have to downsize my crafting supplies. So I try to leave space here for in case I need to get into this closet. So I think these two boxes here are really going to start filling this up. So I'm going to start working on that. It's no shock or surprise that I cannot remember the order of things that I had in here, but we're going to do our best. But certainly this is a job that calls for coffee. Here we go. I'm pretty sure it was these two drawers that I had filled with stamps, because I remember getting my stamp pads out of this section, and they were right under the stamps. I think I had just 2 drawers of stamps, but it could have been 3. But let's start with these 2. And like I said, I do have this labeled Craft Caddy, which I know goes in this mesh thing, and then stamps in the Craft Caddy. They're going to go here. So let's go ahead and work on that. looking good so far. I've got my tapes and supplies up in that top drawer, stamps, and then other supplies in here. But we still have this, so I'm going to crack it open and see what's in here. This is definitely more supplies and such. I've got, you know, I think the stencils go in my second drawer. I had stencils and also like my transfer papers. So I'm going to put these aside because they go in that second drawer, I think. And then my little ephemera, I want to say that goes in the fourth drawer. Pretty sure. More stencils, lots of stencils. I saw some other stencils that I actually got one new stencil from a new collection. But I'm kind of interested in getting these Alice in Wonderland stencils and dies. We can make room for that, I'm sure. Okay. Oh, and stickers. Stickers and stencils in one drawer. And one drawer. And one drawer, see? Stickers and stencils. See? Okay, so now I remember. One of these big drawers was for all of my, not all, definitely not all, but paper ephemera. So I'm going to just load it back up. And honestly, I don't even know how this held as much stuff as it did, but it did. So, hey, I'm not mad at it. But like I said, I think I am going to downsize. Oh my gosh, look at these books. Monster jokes and riddles. Let's tell one. This is why nothing gets done. Did you hear about the mummy who got a job at the post office? He works in the dead letter office. Illustrations are so good. So I'm going to set these aside for my bookshelf. It shouldn't go in there. Oh, more books. The red balloon. And you'll float too. Wow, I got some cool books. We should do a book tour one day. Okay, so I'm gonna finish filling up the ephemera jar, and I'll be back. We did it! All right, 2 boxes down, 50 million more to go. There must be another craft. Oh, it's right here. I'm like, there must be another one nearby because there's still one more empty drawer. So this is probably going to be liquids, mostly like glues, whatever was in the bottom drawer. Oh yeah, stamp ink pads and all that jazz. Okay, I found my little plastic totes, and these are going to be stored here at the bottom of the printer, as are these little jewelry totes. So I'm going to get those situated as well. Okay, we're back with day 2. Let's see what all got done yesterday and what we might be able to get done today. Well, the caddy is filled back up. I also have this, which was previously in my garage, but I think I have space for it to go here. I do need to get my books still situated. I'm going to get my sewing machine set up. I need to move those plastic totes here. I'll get my other stuff that goes underneath there. And many more boxes to go. Oh my goodness. Okay. I think aside from these boxes, I think I have maybe 1 or 2 more craft boxes in the garage. So let's see what we can get taken care of. All right, I think I'm gonna go ahead and set this little storage container here. I'm gonna go ahead and, I think I have a box in the garage that has all the stuff that belongs in here. Let me go get it. It was actually already in the room. Okay, so, ooh, it's heavy. I'm gonna crack it open. I think this is the right box. And we're gonna just pop this stuff into this one here. I know that I have a box set, maybe two other boxes that have things in them that are kind of big. And I'm excited to find those because that's gonna take away, like, you know, 2 boxes that need to be unpacked because it's mostly 2 things that are kind of big. So I'm looking forward to those. And no, this is the wrong box. I think I remember the stuff is in a tote. So we'll get back to that momentarily. For now, let's just magically see. Oh gosh. Let's see what's in this box. Oh gosh. Okay. Oh, okay, so, Oh, okay, I have some Christmas kits in here. Those are going to be coming pretty soon. And I need somewhere to put these for now, though. I really need a tall shelf. I really want that craft cabinet, you know, but I need it to have, like, big cubbies. That's what I need. Okay, I'm going to be doing some journals pretty soon that are going to be plain. And I'm going to literally fill them with ephemera for days that can be used inside the journals, because this is going to really, I think it'll be twofold. You'll get a cool journal, but you'll also be able to get like a lot of like really cool like vintage ephemera and stuff like that in your books. Look how cool. These are stickers. Yay. Okay, so this box has something big in it, so that's great. It's going to help me out with getting rid of a box here in the room. I can't believe it's already going to be Christmas soon. What is that? Ooh, my little thing with all my dried flowers in it. How pretty! My little container from Priscilla. It's where I house all my brads and things like that. I think this thing that's in here that's kind of large Marge is going to go just right on top of this plastic thing, and hopefully it won't be too heavy for it. Oh goodness. Oh no! One of the drawers came out. Okay, it fits perfectly, but now I've got to figure out what all came out of these drawers. Oh my gosh, look at this. It's a vintage photo postcard. Wow. Andy D-Day Bull. The things I have, I tell you. Okay, so 2 of my drawers busted open, so I'm going to put these back together. I think I'm feeling overwhelmed. And I think that's because a lot of this stuff is like scatter packed. And so I think what I'm going to end up doing is, I think I'm going to probably just open these boxes and put stuff into piles, organize it that way. And then once I have it organized into piles, that's going to help me better store it, I think. So here we go. I think we're on day 4. So for this space, I purchased a rack. You'll see it soon. It's already been built, but I need to get all this stuff stored. So storage is expensive. Like really expensive. So I asked my mom to go to Dollar Tree, and these are the things that she found. So she got me 3 of these. They come in 2 sizes. This one is a little bit smaller size, which I think will be good for ephemera. And then I got a couple of these little clear totes for smaller things like stickers. And then these are a little bit bigger, but they're not partitioned. But they're really cool because they come with their lids. So these will be great for ephemera. And then I have these here, which are basically like a little bit smaller version of my 12 by 12 ones of those. But these are really cool because they would be good for ephemera that's a little bit bigger. And she got me, I think these are similar to the clear ones. They're just different color. They're colorful ones. And then these here are a little bit bigger, and they also have lids. Again, this will be good for, I don't know, some kind of ephemera. And then lastly, these totes, which I might end up putting laces and fabrics in. I'm not sure. So this is what all I have right now, but I'm going to start loading these all up and see how much more I'm going to need, because I do suspect I will need more. Welcome to day 5. It's still a mess, but I was able to get the rack up. This rack is really cool. It's about 4 feet tall or so, and there's 4 shelves to it. And I just thought that this would be perfect because I know that I'd be putting a lot of paper on it, and each shelf, it doesn't look like it, but each shelf can hold 350 pounds. So I was like, okay, that's perfect. So I've started loading the rack up from the bottom up with things that are kind of like a little bit more heavy. And then with the totes that I showed you guys yesterday, I've started filling those up with like ephemera, such and such. And then I also got some of these little baskets, and I started filling those up. And then I still have some piles here. And I think I'm going to start filling up these three drawers here. I also condensed 2 boxes of like fabric and trim into this one tote, and there's still a little bit of space left if I need it. But yeah, so it's getting there-ish. I still have a few things up there to look at. But yeah, so that's where we're at. There's definitely still more stuff. And there's still more in the garage, but I think what I'm going to do is just mostly focus on what's in here and try and get what's in here put away, and then start moving the stuff that's in here out by making journals and kits and whatever, and then bringing more stuff from the garage in until I finally get it down to like a reasonable amount of stuff. So I'm going to work on getting the rest of these things up into the racks. I have a few more totes that I got. It's a mess behind me. But there's some extra totes over there by the door. It's definitely not going to be enough, but we're gonna just do what we can. So that's the update. night 6. I started getting the bookshelves set up, as you can see, and ready to put the shelves up on this one, but I'm gonna get my books together so that I can see like the size that I want to set my shelves to. So I think those are the newest developments. So I'm gonna start putting those together. The rack is almost done. There may be a couple more things that go on it. I got to get that stuff off the ground, but it's coming together finally. Day 7. I think it's day 7. So I worked on this bookshelf here last night, which, as you can see, it got pretty well filled. There's a few more things on the floor. I need to get this bookshelf filled up with all of these books. And then I need to remove these boxes because they're not going in here right now. Put these boxes away. And then I think we're done. Oh, those books too. And then I can finally do the final reveal. So let's get busy. Are you ready for the final reveal? Dun, 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 dun. Let's see. So this is it, guys. I hope that you like the way that it looks. Obviously, I have to get some things up on the wall here and there. Not very much, though. But taking a look over here, we've got the mesh rack. This is where I'll be keeping all my stamps. This is a really durable thing. It actually, these stamps are heavy. They're all wood stamps, so they really do a good job of holding all of these stamps in here. And then I also have stencils in this drawer. Here, I've got my tapes and other tools that I use, stamps, stamp ink and markers in here. There are more markers and pens here, brush pens and all that. This is a big bucket, like I told you. This thing is actually pretty cool. This came to me from my best friend, who's basically like my sister. And we were able to pick the size of drawer that we wanted because she's like, well, think about what you want to put in these. So I did. And we got 2 of these big bucket ones, and paper's heavy, so they do a really good job of holding the paper. And then there's liquid glues and more pens. Moving over here on this rack, there's a bunch of file folders. This is where I decided to store the ephemera. So now it's all organized into these little totes individually, which is way more organized because before it was just kind of scattered everywhere. So each one of these has vintage ephemera in it. I have some scrapbook paper here. This is a journal that I got in a swap. This is some extra supplies. And then here on the next shelf up, I've got 2 tiers of punches. I may find a different storage solution for them, but for now that's what it is. This is my paper trimmer. There's more ephemera back there, and then here ephemera threads also, and some other little trinkets up on top. This is my scrap box, so whenever I need scraps, that's what I'll be going to. Moving to the next shelf up, this little bucket is one from the Dollar Tree. So this is holding some lace and some threads there. Printer paper and scrapbook paper. These are excess digitals that I had, so I put them in one of these clear 12x12s. This is a vintage Betty Crocker thing. Ribbons back here. More ribbons, and there's also some threads at the bottom of this tote. And then my dies are in that box right back there. And then here, up at the top, this is what it's looking like. And then I've got things for my personal journal. This is like Halloween stuff. It is not all my Halloween stuff. One thing that's not in here is seasonal stuff, except for this. And then this is a little bit of Christmas. This tote. This is a tote of like ephemera and things like that, papers that I want to use for journals. And same thing for this one. Moving over here, washi tapes, of course. And then this is my little trinket thing that holds all kinds of trinkets and small papers, my laminator. These are a lot of my children's books and a lot of my Alice in Wonderland books. And then these stackable mesh things, they also came from a best friend. And these are really cool. They're durable and they hold a lot of weight. So if you can see down here, I store a lot of scrapbook papers in these because they're metal and they will just hold up, and it's a good way to get your heavy paper stored. So that's what's all in these, is heavier papers. Sewing machine, this will be where I sit. I'll have a nice view outside. And down below, that's where I keep like my paints and stuff. Over here in the back, there's more of those 12x12 totes that have different supplies like distress inks, other things like that I use. And then here are all my beads and such. My printer will be right here. And then I've got another one of these little trinket boxes. This is not all the way full, but at the bottom I've got things to use for journal covers. And then here, this is just random paper, scrapbook paper, and the top one's kind of empty. Over here, these are more children's books. This is a little file folder with recipes in it. I'm gonna probably pare some of this stuff down. I've got extra storage here if I need it. This is my button jar. And then this is just something that I need to unbox. So it's just there for now. But yeah, this is it. So thank you guys so much again for hanging out and watching this video. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch, and I hope maybe you have some ideas of things that you can do. I know crafting supplies can really add up and they get heavy, so having things like this really make a difference. So if you have any questions on anything that I did, be sure to leave it down in the comment section. And I think that is gonna wrap it up for me for now. Be sure to stay tuned because you never know what direction this odd flock of ours is heading into. And until next time, toodaloo.